Welcome back, everyone. Today, I am so excited to welcome a truly inspiring leader, coach, and creator, Liz Finneron. Liz is a high-performance life and leadership coach with over 25 years of experience helping ambitious professionals grow in confidence, lead with clarity, and build careers and lives they are proud of. Her work focuses on practical strategies that help people navigate imposter syndrome, burnout, self-doubt, and everyday challenges of leadership without losing themselves in the process. Liz also hosts her own podcast, The Leading Role Mindset Strategies for Ambitious Leaders, where she shares real conversations about what it takes to lead, perform, and thrive in life and work. So welcome, Liz.
Oh, thank you. What an introduction.
I hope I got that right, all of it.
Sounds amazing. I could do with you introducing me every time I enter a room with that intro. I love it.
You have to play it out every time you enter a room now.
I'll be having that on speed dial, just playing that out. It's amazing to be here. Thank you for the invite.
No problem. I mean, I listened to your podcast the other day. I love it that you focus on the niche around leadership and helping people grow. So can you tell us a little bit about your story? How did you get to this position when you're coaching elite performers?
Of course. So, yeah, let's rewind over 20 years ago. And essentially, I remember my early years being quite sensitive.
Okay.
And you know what? There was no real reason for that, but I was very sensitive. And over the years, I felt lacking in confidence. And you know, I was overweight and I got ginger hair, which I love ginger hair. But when you're little, you do you get picked on, and it kind of knocks your confidence. And life and leadership coaching, my service is about actually what has started and formed a lack of confidence. Yeah. So to give you the context, this is where I started from. And through school, I always had a drive, but I never really knew how to take it anywhere or do anything with it. So I'd maybe join a tennis club or I'd started doing badminton, but then it kind of stopped because it just a little comment or a knock of confidence, and then I'd stop.
Run away from it a bit.
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah.
I think a lot can resonate with that though, because I did in school. Everyone says like, you're such a good speaker. You get out on socials and it looks like you're so in flow. And I'm like, no, I didn't have any confidence. Like growing up, I was so shy. I used to shake when I'd speak to boys.
Yeah.
I was that nervous. And so was there a moment when you were like, right, I need to change this?
There was, but it took a long time to realise that. And so that followed me through. My first job was a hairdresser.
Oh, really?
Working, I don't know if anybody can remember, but in John English. And I worked in Hanley and Longton, and I did really well. And then I had my own business, just a little setup. But it wasn't really something that I wanted to progress in long term. And then I took a career break, and then I started to go and work in contact centres for John Caldwell.
Right.
And I really thrived in that, and I loved it, and I loved the office environment and the corporate world. And then I just said, I quite fancy being a manager. And straight away they were putting me in assessment centres and things like that. And I failed miserably.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say, right, I went for it.
No, this is the thing. This is the thing. And
The
this is what
knockbacks
led
in
me
life.
to, exactly.
Yeah.
This is what led me to getting into leadership coaching, because when we're in a position in work, whatever that role is, we could be in marketing, we could be in legal, finance, mortgage advice, whatever that is, you do really well and then you're promoted into leadership. But the problem is you're not given the skills.
You've never been trained in it.
It's a separate job.
So
it's a
hard.
totally, exactly. Yeah. And, 90% of leaders that get promoted have no training whatsoever. And also, bearing in mind, so I got no skills and I got all of this baggage. So any knockback really threw me. And then I'd hide away for a few months or for however long it was, and then I'd
we have this in business. Well, I feel like I went in so unaware of like leadership when I set up a cafe. I was like, I just had this vision, I'll bring healthy food to the wellness, like to our local community.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that it would involve managing a team of 16 people eventually and having all these moving parts and strategies and, all the processes that go involved in hospitality. And it's like, I wish we had training in like how to run either a business or how to be a leader for a team, because I think that's the biggest life skill.
Yeah,
Like,
definitely.
yeah.
And it'd be good to understand what happened with you with that, because
Yes, I will pick into that.
the self-doubt creeps in.
It does.
And the imposter
Yeah,
syndrome,
yeah.
because you're thinking everybody seems to be doing really well. And so I'd start comparing myself to everybody. And the self-negative talk, I'd like have 8 hours at work and then 8 hours at home, replaying
Oh, I did
every
that.
conversation.
Yeah, I would go over and over. And me and my husband, like, we need to stop, because we ran the business together. We've got to stop, like, dissociate from it from when we get home, because we're just talking about this all the time and going over the problems, when why don't we focus on the things that we want to do good at,
And it's draining, isn't it?
Really draining. It takes over your whole life.
Yeah.
Like, it can really damage you, like mental health as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what happened to me. So what I did was, I'd never heard of coaching before. So we're talking back 2015, 2016. So I went to a therapist
Oh, good.
because I thought, I've got mental health problems. Never occurred to me that I hadn't got skills.
And did anyone say that they could support you in the working environment? Like, did you get any support?
It was never an option. And it's still the same pretty much in a lot of companies today. And for me now, it's about building that awareness, and the Leading Role podcast is about building that awareness to say, actually, you're doing really well. You just need to learn some new skills. And let's just focus on what you're really great at, because you've got this far. But for me, I went to a therapist and I would feel great for that session. But then I'd come away and then that would wear off.
Yeah, and you need like that regroup, that's what I find at my events. Sometimes it's like you get this power from other women, like, yeah, you can do anything. And then you kind of get home and you're like, can
but
I?
How?
Yeah, and
but
it's like,
how?
what strategy can I put in place?
Exactly.
You do need that. It's like someone to hold you accountable and make you feel your best self as well.
100%. So I would feel great, but then what would happen? I'd go back into the workplace, and I did get promoted by hook or by crook. I managed to get promoted, and it took me 3 attempts. And it was tough. It was tough getting the rejection all the time.
It's hard to go up against it again. Like, put yourself forward when you like, it didn't work last time.
Yeah, it was best endeavours, to be fair. When I look back now, how I got it, I think it was just they were fed up of me just keep applying.
Please, Kelly. but you obviously did have the skills. You just didn't know how to utilise them.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. And so I got to a point in my life, I'd run the London Marathon, trained myself, and I was like...
So did you get were you focusing on your fitness then, getting super healthy?
Yeah, so I was just really winging it.
Yeah.
But I really believed in motivation, so I'd watch all these YouTube videos, and I ran the London Marathon, and then I went to the lowest part I'd ever been, because I think, when you have a goal and you're working towards it, and then it stops.
Yeah.
And so I'd be dead inconsistent. 1 minute I could take on the world, and then the next I'd want to hide away. I thought, I just can't keep going on like this. And I think in leadership you feel really lonely and you feel lost. And
you feel like you have to prove yourself in a way. So when you're in work mode, you're like, I've got to be my best self. But then you get home and crash, and you're like, how do I even get up tomorrow and do this again?
I know. And
it's like putting on a mask in a way. You feel like, and you just need to step into that version of yourself.
Yes.
You can do it.
Yeah.
Believe in yourself, but it's like you need someone to help you along the way.
Yeah, and somebody to say, you can do this.
Yeah.
Because
we all can do it. And this is what really gets me at my events. So many women are like, I couldn't do what you do. I couldn't do what I did a few years ago, but you have to slowly start putting yourself in more uncomfortable situations, start to grow, start to learn, like you say, professional development, all these things. Yeah. And everyone has it in them to write a book, be a podcast host, do anything, like, all your wildest dreams, you can do it.
And you are an inspiration to women. I've been to a lot of your events, and you're a huge inspiration, and you do keep showing up, and you're consistent. And that's what high performance is about, being consistent.
And it's hard. Look, some days I don't want to get up and be consistent. Like, I have my low days, but I do think you've got to hold yourself accountable. Because like, if you have a goal in mind, and I've got a goal to grow this big community, if I have you can have days off, but like, if I consistently just vanish for a month, then my community would I'd lose followers. I'd have less income, it'd start to fade away. And you do have to show up. If you want to achieve, you've got to be consistent and show up. I mean, I had a lady on recently on the podcast who she's got 3 young kids under 4, and she just said, I choose to show up every day and be my best self. And because I love what I do as well, it brings out my passion. So when I'm sharing and I'm doing these things and doing my business, it makes me thrive too.
Exactly. That's your legacy, isn't it? And do you know what? That was a turning point for me. It was, I want to be the best version of me for my two girls.
Yeah, that's it.
So I was divorced. I was, every other weekend I was in on my own.
See,
And
that's a hard transition. Had you just gone through the divorce?
yeah,
Or
but I knew the life I wanted all along, even from those days when I got the ginger hair and I knew the life I wanted, just didn't know how.
Okay.
And so I hit rock, but it was a Saturday, and I was just like, I've got a choice here. I either give up or I get up.
Yeah.
And I just started to Google. I got my laptop out and I just started to Google, and I was listening to my favourite music and watching motivation videos, and I came across a guy called Brendan Bouchard, who's the world's #1 coach based in America. And so I joined his online course. For me, for my own personal development, and it was all about high performance habits. Oh, and I loved it.
Yes.
How to get up early, how to do what you say you're going to do, how to stop procrastinating.
Hold yourself accountable and actually do the things. Yeah.
Oh, it's incredible.
So did you implement them straight away? Like, did you find
straight away? And people were noticing. So I worked at Vodafone in the corporate world, and people were noticing.
Like, what's changed?
It's
like you're lighter in a way, because you're up earlier, you're more productive. You're
going to the gym.
Have you ever read that book, The Miracle Morning, where that Hal Elrod does these 8 things you can do in the morning? You'd love that. It's like everyone has their own ways of doing it, but the top 1% of leaders, the high performers in the world, who are making up these millions and billions, do these practices. They have set routines and consistent practices, don't they?
Oh yeah. And
what was it you did?
So I was just getting up early. I wasn't snoozing the alarm. I was making a choice of either do I go for the latte in the morning, or do I put my trainers on and go to the gym. I was getting the school lunches ready.
Nice.
I was just having a to-do list, being really clear in the morning about what I wanted to achieve. And that evolved to not only just taking action, but then learning new skills, how to influence, how to persuade, how to communicate effectively. And I was getting results. And so then people started to come to me and say, oh, I can see what you're doing, what's happening. And so I shared it with them. And then I got the opportunity to go out to San Diego, to go to America.
With the guy.
To join High Performance Academy. And I thought, I'm going. And I've never done anything like that.
I love it.
6,000 miles. And
But it was a big investment as well, to go for it.
Well, yeah. I mean, I hadn't got the money.
Yeah.
It was all put on the credit card.
You just got to go for it, don't you?
I just thought, honestly, we're here once, aren't we? And it's my legacy, like I said earlier.
Well, I got an opportunity, which I was obviously in a very privileged position, but my mum took me to an Anthony Robbins event, and that changed my life, if you... Obviously, I was so lucky that she could do that, because she was a self-made woman and she'd built a business. But she'd come from a council house, She chose those decisions to launch herself and go for these big moves and to bring her children up with that. So it's powerful. Sometimes we just got to invest and go for it.
Well, investment, I've never regretted anything I've ever spent on myself and my personal development. I've always seen the return on investment, because I think if you don't invest in yourself, how can you expect other people to invest in you?
And you can start valuing yourself more, because I feel like if you think every year I've got to put this investment into myself, then, well, actually, that's cost this, and also my time, my money, we can actually charge a bit more. And I think us women, we devalue ourselves a lot, don't we?
Massively.
I had so many women.
Deprioritise, April, don't you think?
There was a lady that reached out to me last night. She said, I really want you to be like a business mentor to me, or help me. So I was like, okay. And usually I do consultancy now a bit, but this lady said she literally was rock bottom, lost her relationships, had a baby on her own. And she wanted to set up a community, but she, what she was doing? She's not charging for it. So she was just going around doing free events. I was like, well, how are you going to make a life for yourself if you're not valuing yourself?
Yes.
So it's like, right, girl, go and charge for your next event. Or she was letting other people come in as collaborators, but letting them take the money. And I was like, no, come on.
Yeah.
This is us as women, though. We often like to give more than receiving, and we have to.
It's getting that balance right, isn't it? And I think for your legacy, for me, my girls, I want them to see that I value myself.
Exactly. It's important.
Yeah, it really is. And so I invested in myself, went out to San Diego, did a week, just a high performance academy, being around the people, my tribe.
Yeah.
I was like, they get me and I get them. And I came back and I remember phoning my eldest daughter and saying, things are going to have to change when I get home. I can't come all this way and not do anything with it when I get back. And then I started my coaching qualifications, started to train, and got qualified as an NLP practitioner, an ILM coach and mentor. And then I rented the little coaching room at Lindsay's.
Oh yeah, of course.
Congleton Therapy, and started to do face-to-face coaching. Still working full time, but then I do evenings and weekends. And from then the business has grown. So that's my story, how I started. And then I finally took redundancy at Vodafone and went full time. Went all in and went back out to America. So that would be it's 4 years ago. So 2021.
It's a big move, isn't it? Doing that, like going for it fully on your own. Yeah, it's a big shock when you go from having you're in an environment where you've got teams and you've got all the things you need at your disposal, but then having your own business and just working for yourself. How did you find that transition?
It was exciting at first because when I left, I'd got quite a good client base.
Yeah, good.
So I was working in education. I was working in local schools with their senior leaders and helping local business men and women. And they were going through my leadership program because I actually, as soon as I took my redundancy, I went back out to America to they were doing a coaching summit, Brendan Bouchard was, and I always wanted to be one of his coaches. And it's a huge investment to become one of his coaches. And I just thought, Lou, it's now or never, really. So I did. I came back and launched my program, my high performance coaching program. And because I think with coaching, it's about, I wanted to give people tactical strategies. So when I was in therapy, I walked away with nothing. I want people to be able to go back into the workplace and have tangible strategies that they can use to navigate whatever it is that they're facing. So whether conflict in a meeting or can't influence change or how to have an effective communication, these are the things, the skills that leaders need.
Well, communication's key. Like, because I thought I was this is coming back to when I had a team, like I thought I was communicating really clearly and I was like, yeah, everyone gets me. But actually I was talking too fast. I've got ADHD as well. So I'm very like, ding, 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 we're going to do this. And we've got this exciting thing going on. And as a leader, I started to realize that people don't like change quite fast. They like to feel a part of it, of course.
Yes.
So I started to realize at first I was just like, right, this is a menu. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And then I started to realize, I need to input, like really get an input from the team and make them feel a part of something bigger.
Yeah.
And once that started to change, everything started to flow so much better. But it's easy to kind of lack communication as a leader because you just want to focus on the bottom line, getting the money in and driving the business. But people can feel undervalued.
Oh, massively. And now I'll do one-to-one coaching, or I've got my group coaching, online coaching, which is once a month for like new leaders that have been promoted, and we get an outcome every month. So building confidence, or removing limiting beliefs, or communication and all of that. But going into businesses now and consulting on their people plan and engagement, like you've just said, managing change through so that everybody feels engaged, empowered, and looking at that communication. But to go back to your question, that first year in business, did I learn some lessons? Like, wow, if you don't advocate for yourself, then you've just got to get yourself out there.
You've got to show up. You've got to be seen. I think that was so difficult. The hardest.
Yeah,
because it's a saturated market, especially I guess in the coaching industry.
Yes.
In the wellness industry, as a yoga teacher, I think every industry is quite saturated, and everyone's getting this move like, I want to open my own business and do things online, but it's really hard to get seen. So what was your strategy on that? Did you go to Instagram? Was it LinkedIn?
LinkedIn is the platform for me. So I urge, if my clients are watching this now, they'll hear me bang on about LinkedIn.
I want to use it more. I actually said, we should do a webinar about it, because like so many people
Yes.
don't utilize
I've
LinkedIn.
got in front of the most incredible people that I would never have got in front of and just through the power of LinkedIn.
And do you just drop into people's DMs
Connect
or
with them first and foremost, and then
comment on things?
I comment, yeah. And LinkedIn is about contributing, so it's about putting your posts on there,
But not too selly, I guess. It's more about like being, oh, this
a
is a
variety,
value today.
talking about a particular topic, giving your thoughts and opinions, and sharing your resources. Look, this is what I've learned
This is
today.
what's worked, yeah.
Being happy, being vulnerable. So, I'll openly share my mistakes, because that's life,
It's more
isn't
catchy,
it?
actually. People, like, it's shown on hooks. They buy into things that are like, well, these are the challenges I learned from, or this is all my business failures. People quite like to get a bit nosy.
Yeah,
And I do
yeah.
find, because on LinkedIn, it's so tempting to be like, oh, this is my next event. This is what I've got going on. But I need to be better at this, like giving people value and resources, free
It
ebooks,
is,
stuff like that.
yeah.
Because I've made loads. I just need to actually go, oh,
Oh
here you
yeah,
go.
share them, because
them.
all the knowledge
Yeah.
you've got and all the experience, and I think all of the platforms are relevant for every business. And I have got my Instagram and I have got my Facebook, but my main platform is LinkedIn.
It's interesting. I think you do need to like pick one that you're going to focus on. 'cause,
Yes.
like Instagram's always been like my baby. It's just kind of, I've never had to pay marketing ever. So even when I had the cafe, we just had crazy traffic just from Instagram.
Yeah.
And I've just kind of focused on that. But now I'm starting to reach into TikTok, LinkedIn.
Yes.
I've got a big connection on LinkedIn. I don't know if it's like, what's good these days, 800, 900. It's not really about, is it about following though? Or is it more about?
My top tips for LinkedIn would be max out your connections every month, every week. Sorry. And I think some people might leave in the comments if I'm wrong. It's about 150 connections per week. So just do a search on the people that you want to connect with, and just go connect, because people, which I can't believe, are more likely to accept that connection request than just if you send them a message, because I think people think you're going to sell them something.
Yeah. If
so
you message them,
just send them a connection request, and do that. I do mine every Monday. It takes an hour.
What's good about LinkedIn is I find I don't usually go on and find people that are like super local. It's more like widespread.
Yeah.
So there's so many opportunities it could unfold. And like a guest I had on recently said she just had shared some things, and like Dior or Harrods got in touch, or like these big brands, like an event. She said it was an event coordinator for Harrods or store that found her on LinkedIn or a post, and it was just like, how interesting.
It's incredible, honestly. The people I've met. So I'll do that, but then it is a community, and it is about being genuine and authentic. And I think you'll find your tribe again if you look at it from that perspective.
Is it good on the groups and stuff? Do you like join?
I love the groups. Yes,
I need to have a little play around with it.
Yeah,
I've started putting my events up on there as well, which is good. I don't know if it's brought much traffic, but I'll have to look at the algorithm.
Have a look. I mean, I've reposted your Tawny event today. Because there's a lot of people on LinkedIn, a lot of women in leadership that are lonely, working hybrid or working from home. And as leaders, you do start to distance yourself. So for me, like one of my goals this year is to get out more, because I work from home and it's isolating.
Well, this is why I've set up the co-working groups, because I'm like, it's so important to get together with a group of women and just work together.
I thrive off that. And I love your events for that, and I've made some great connections from your events who've now become clients of mine.
Exactly. It's lovely, the networking, but then also co-working where you can just sit on a laptop and chat and like, or just relax and focus on your work, but feel like you're part of something.
Yeah, so definitely. And then it is my other top tip for LinkedIn is comment on people's posts that resonate with you.
A bit like Instagram then on that respect.
Because and it's okay to be seen. If you don't put yourself out there, because recruiters, so I've been in touch with a lot of recruiters on LinkedIn, and they are constantly searching, because what's happening at the moment in the marketplace is they put a position out, advertise it on LinkedIn, they are inundated. Like within a day, they're having to close the application because they're getting thousands. So what they do like is when, if you're applying for a role, they just DM them. Drop them a message.
I've actually, there's like, what was it, like the Hook group or one of the bigger groups. I was like, I really want to get an event there, like in the studios. So I just like, I'll send them an email, then I'll send them an Instagram. Often they don't read the Instagram, so I'm like, oh, LinkedIn, and it's
Yes.
worked a few times when I drop
Yes.
them in the DMs.
Yeah.
You know, I just paid for the membership thing,
Oh, premium.
so I just
Yes.
thought that's worth it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just to give you a bit of a boost.
Well, you can, from premium, if I'm right, I'm not an expert on this, but you then get access to people's emails as well.
You can DM them direct or
DM
something,
them,
yeah,
yes,
which is good.
absolutely.
And I think it's worth it for connections, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
But
So
I
yeah,
wanted
top
to-
tips on LinkedIn.
Yes, well, I wanted to ask you, how would you then define authentic leadership?
So authentic leadership is a big focus this year, and having presence and purpose.
Yeah.
So all of my leaders, I start with being yourself.
Yeah, okay.
And be clear about your values. So what's important to you?
Yeah, get to those core values. So I think a lot of us try and be like, we like this page, let's be like them, but you have to be true to yourself, don't you?
Yeah, and you might have about 10 different values, but then we take it to 4.
Okay.
What are your 4 core values? So mine's fun, energy, knowledge, and I'm trying to think of the 4th one. I can never remember all 4.
3 will do.
3 is fine. But it's about, when I hear those words, for me, it summarises who I am and what I want to be about. And then the thing is, when you're in a role, if you are clear about your values, if there's a disconnect, look at them.
Yeah.
What's going on with your values? Is your work still giving you that fulfillment?
Okay.
And
Do you want to make it part of your life? Like, you actually showing up and loving business? And
are you adding value?
Yeah.
Are you making a difference?
Well, I always say that with my workshops, like, what is your why? Like, why are you doing this? What problem are you solving in society? And if you're not solving a problem, business isn't the right angle. So you need to look at, right, well, I'm helping women thrive, or I'm, giving a service that's going to benefit women, or whatever it is. But you've got to be so true to that and really know your value. So many people, I see websites all the time, and, people approach me a lot, and I'm like, your website doesn't even say what you do. Like, it's not, I can't see from your profile what you offer or what service you're providing. Yeah. And I think we need to really show that core value, don't we, through and through across our brand.
Yeah, definitely. And it's about being consistent as well. The thing is, as well, as leaders, we don't know who's watching us.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't know the impact you're making. Now, your team might not come up and say to you, oh, you really made an impact on me today. They might, which is brilliant. But if they see you advocating for them, if they see you following through on what you said you're going to do, that's authentic leadership.
So you don't need to get praised all the time and things. It's like, I think we want that. And I think that's when things can get stuck. We assume people don't, aren't grateful for what we've done, or so you've got to know, no, I know I've done a good job, and be sure of that as well. And just don't feel like you need to rely on other people's, even though it's nice to have like recognition. Yeah. But sometimes in business, it's just a bit cutthroat.
You can't have it all the time, though, can you? And I think you're showing up for yourself, really. And like, when you're very clear about who you are and what you stand for. So in the first couple of sessions of my program, we really get clear on that. Okay. But I'm massive on, let's talk about your strengths. Okay. Because we can all whittle off what we're not good at.
Yeah.
So,
exactly.
So it's about really knowing what you're great at.
And just find people struggle with that area. Yeah.
Because we default, don't we, to what we're not good at.
Oh, I can't do that.
That's how the brain works, though. The brain's there to protect you from harm.
And a lot of people think they can't do, I can't get on stage, I can't speak. And they're like, that's why I always do the 30-second or 1-minute networking, because when every woman gets a minute, they dread it. But then when they do it, they realise, oh, that wasn't that hard.
No,
and then they can do it again and again. And it's like, actually, so do you recommend people put themselves in more uncomfortable positions, like slowly start to challenge themselves?
Yeah, I would, but it's also having that framework to help you step out of your comfort zone, so that you're not just like taking a leap of faith and hoping that something sticks. And that's the thing with leadership. It's about knowing how to coach, knowing how to listen. And authentic leadership is a lot about listening.
It is.
Remembering their children's names, remembering that they had a birthday party at the weekend.
People want to feel seen. I think that was the biggest thing when I had the wellness cafe. I'd just coming in, and I know I was bad for this. I can look now, because I'd run in, I'd be like, oh, I need to get on shift. I wouldn't like be too rushed with my team, but I would just be in my focus zone. And if I just take 5 minutes to check in with everyone, there was this cafe I'd seen in LA that did this. They'd all have a group connection at the start of the day, and it really inspired me. So we do a bit of breath work and I actually had this dream of we do yoga every day before the cafe opened, but that's hard to get everyone into
Yeah.
work early. But you'd have a little connection, and then they'd say their mission statement out clearly every day to be clear. And it really resonated with me because often I would go into the cafe too rushed, forget to ask, how's your weekend been? What have you been up to? Oh, your kid's okay. Those small moments can make such a difference.
Yeah.
Like even if you just remember, like, and even with customers, like remembering their names, clients, everything makes such a difference. If you can
Huge
just have those
impact.
people skills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for me, that's authentic.
Yeah, it is.
It's about that you care. Simon Sinek, I follow him on LinkedIn.
Oh, I love him, yeah.
And he was talking a couple of days ago about companies that actually have their people's ambitions, dreams, desires up on a board, whether it's related
that's
to work
good.
or not.
Yeah.
And it's about really getting to know people.
Yeah. We need,
and
like, my mum used to do psychometric profiling on everyone.
Oh,
So she
did
wouldn't hire
she?
people until she was happy that she knew their underlying, like, how they are, their mentality, their family life.
Yeah.
She would literally go through everything. Like, I'm talking relationships, who they're suited to, So they'd be like in this interview, why is this lady asking me all these questions about? But
Shrewd, though.
She wanted to understand them. Like,
Yeah.
what are your goals? Do you want to settle down? Do you want to get,
Yeah.
like she wanted to know in a way that I can help you fulfill your life goal. Not only because she knew that people would want to go on, maybe in future go on to other things or open their own businesses. So she'd help them feel such a part of something, like we're helping you grow. And I think that's so powerful.
That's amazing, that is. And I mean, there's more awareness in today's world, in today's society and in industries. And I do see an awful lot of senior leaders now, having an acknowledgement and an awareness of how leadership is changing. Leadership is a privilege.
Exactly.
And people have lives outside of work, but we are here to do a job.
Yeah.
And we know we have to have compassion when we're here to get the job done.
It's getting the balance, isn't it? Because I do feel like because you've got to watch in business, you don't treat everyone like your friends. They're not your friends. And that was a real hard lesson because some days I would get on really well with the team and like we'd be thriving, but then I'd notice they'd all be chatting and connecting, but then missing the customer completely. So I was like, there has to be a line, like we're great, we're getting on, we're thriving, but then a client call's being missed, our productivity, we're not hitting markers, we're losing money.
Yes.
So like it's getting the balance is so hard.
It is.
Because people do like a bit of a chatter and a social but then you do need to go in. And I think the key thing that I learned was KPIs are key. Like everyone has to know what they're there for. So if you're leading a team, do they understand their key role? Because you might have that role in your mind. That's Amy over there. She leads this team and she does this and she does that. But she might not actually know that they're her responsibilities. I feel like that gets missed a lot. Like key responsibilities.
Explaining what they're for.
Yeah.
You're right. KPIs, OKRs, or SLAs,
Just
all
getting
these acronyms.
everything.
But we're here for a reason, and why. What is it? What sits behind those measurements? And you're right. Sometimes as leaders, we just assume people know the importance of it.
It's going over it. Like I always like job chats, like a 5-minute quick coffee just to go over. Hey, are we on target this week? Are we focusing on this? You know that this is your responsibility. And sometimes I'd find like if you don't do that, at the end of the day, it would backfire onto me. Everyone thought April must be doing everything. I felt like my job load would shoot up if I didn't delegate effectively. And that is so important, isn't it?
Yeah, and to show trust.
Yeah.
And it's very difficult not to micromanage.
Well,
we do fall into that.
We do. I did I would say. I think probably women with ADHD will micromanage more because they want to do a bit of everything. And then you feel your team back off. They're like, well, just let her do everything then. And actually, because I'd never had experience and I'd never been in hospitality before. I'd never learned this. But you've got to be clear at delegating, which is a skill set in itself, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, right, you're in charge of this area. You do the clean down. You open this in the morning, whatever. But then having it all structured out as well.
Yes.
But then not being too much like getting involved in the day of, are you doing that right? Is that correct? Oh, you missed this spot. Because people got to learn from failure as well along the way, which is really hard as a manager.
And leaders struggle with that.
It's so hard to oversee someone struggling and not want to jump in. I'll hold my hand up and say, obviously we were a face-to-face business, so customers were coming in and I wanted to give them the best experience. Like I was so passionate about having that eye contact on, sitting them down,
Yeah.
nurturing them. But I realized the people in my business didn't see that the same. They were there to do a job, get money and have a nice life. It's not like they cared about the business, obviously,
Yes.
but they didn't see it to the complexity that I saw it. Like everyone has to have the perfect experience. So I had to let go a little bit of also knowing that they need to feel balanced in their workday.
Yeah. Yeah. It comes back to that authentic leadership, knowing your team, knowing their strengths, but knowing who to delegate to as well.
Yeah.
So you might have somebody in your team that's really great at data. So anything data driven that comes in now, you give it to that person. But do they really want to do that? That might not motivate them. So it's understanding actually what do we define as a strength? And a strength is something that you don't look at the time of day and watch the clock. It's something that you love doing. You might not be great at it, but you love doing it. And it's redefining how we look at strengths. But failure is inevitable. And again, this is with my leaders who I work with, we need that failure because it gives us experience. It gives us knowledge. It gives us resilience. We're learning from that.
I always say fail faster and then get back up, because
100%.
if you like linger in this, what did we do wrong? You're just wasting time. So you're going to fail. It's inevitable. And then just jump back in because it's part of business.
But this is why I do the life and leadership, because when you fail, you default. For me personally, I can just, and I've all the hundreds of clients I've coached, you default to those gremlins. Oh, you see, remember when you were younger and you said you weren't good enough? 100%. And this is where imposter syndrome comes from as well.
Well, let's touch on imposter syndrome. So it's so big, isn't it? Like in women especially, I think. Do you find a lot of men get it as well?
Yes.
Yeah. So what is it and why is it so prevalent?
In my experience, imposter syndrome comes from, again, not having the knowledge and not having feedback from your manager as well. And sometimes we only hear back if we're doing something wrong. We're never really told about when we're doing something great.
True,
So when my clients will get an email from their manager that it happened the other week, and their manager emailed and said, that was a great session. So they came into a coaching session with me straight after and said, right, go back and ask them, what was great about that session?
Feedback's great.
And she got a whole list. So I urge your listeners, if you want to beat imposter syndrome, try to start to get feedback.
100%.
And focus on the areas. Don't just ask for feedback. Be specific, tailor it. If you want to know how you manage a meeting, get feedback from maybe somebody in the meeting or from your manager, anybody like a safe person. Don't go to your worst critic.
You'll be teared apart. There was a coaching call I was on the other day, and it's like this webinar, and they got us doing this exercise that was for life. It's not just for business, but reach out to like 4 people in your phone book that you love or respect, or a colleague or someone. And just say, could you list some things you think I'm good at? Like what are my skills?
Yeah.
And give me some feedback on how you think I'm doing in life or whatever the thing is. And I can't remember who I text now, but on the call we had to do it. So I text like Claudia, one of my ambassadors, and my sister, there was someone else. And it was so interesting because the things that I thought they'd say, it wasn't true. It was like, you're so good at, you're clear and you're good, I don't know, like communication. I was like, really? I didn't think I was good at that. And it was like, it was really interesting to read the responses. I didn't think they would go into such detail as well.
Yeah, it is.
Really nice.
That's a brilliant exercise. Really, really great. So I think from imposter syndrome, it's not getting enough detail. So we fill in the blanks. So there's different types of imposter syndrome. So there's like the superhuman, which a lot of women all relate to. Like imagine Superman, and you're going to take on the world and you're going to fix everything. And so when you can't, you're the limiting beliefs and the gremlins come back and remind you of how you've programmed yourself to think that you're not good enough.
Or you try and do everything like, I'm a mother, I'm here, I'm doing this.
I've got to prove myself to the world, There's also the genius. So this is the person that just needs to go and get qualification after qualification. And if they were to fail that qualification, it would absolutely destroy that person.
I've noticed people like that, like who just, and they carry on. It's like they won't sometimes jump into a role
Mhm.
like because they just want to keep learning because they don't feel like
Yes.
they're good enough at it or
Yeah.
something.
But and also if you think about how our children are at school, it's always pass, fail,
Oh
pass,
yeah.
fail, pass, fail. And
It's
so
like ingrained in our society we have to continue to do tests. Or
yes.
actually, I just got sick of it after university. I was like, I want to just do my own thing now. I don't want to have
Yeah.
to be like told to do a
But
test or
you
learn.
kind of
You can see
you're
it.
not brainwashing them, but you're programming from a very early age that failure is bad.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So this
Yeah,
is why
yeah.
we have all of these limiting beliefs. So there's various imposter syndrome types, but essentially it's about you trying to prove something to yourself.
Yeah.
And that's because something has happened in a previous life where maybe you've had a rubbish manager, for whatever reason, they've had an impact on you and they've mentally scarred you. So
Yeah,
it
yeah.
makes you not
Question.
put yourself out there as much. Yeah, absolutely.
And I suppose I
Question.
put here about imposter syndrome, like it makes you feel like you're winging it. But why is it so some really high achievers, like sometimes it's the ones that get put in the best roles,
Yeah.
they suddenly crumble. Like I can't do this. Like
Because they set too high of expectation. And so it's not setting themselves up for success. And it's probably a combination of a lot of things. And it's about actually taking a moment to celebrate what you've
yeah,
achieved.
the win.
So, every coaching call with a client, we always start off with, right, what wins are we celebrating before we move on into today's
This is
session?
something I'm really bad at, by the way. I was just speaking to someone about this week. I never celebrate like my events or what I've done. So like I've just noticed it recently. I'll do a big event. I'm like, right,
Yeah.
so when's the next one? I'm starting on my email. I'm already on it.
Yeah.
And I've realized, I don't know if it's like a dopamine hit thing where I'm just like, right, next thing.
Yeah.
But I need to savor it in that moment and go, wow, look at this today, what we've achieved. I do have a moment when I get home, usually like, I'm usually just like, but then I'm on to the next thing.
And I don't think that if that's how you operate. I
Yeah, you think it's
don't think
okay?
it's a bad thing, but I think it's understanding, well, what would good look like for you
Yeah.
to feel like great and just making sure you're getting everything out of today
Yeah,
that
just
you want to get out of today.
yeah, because I think I do put a lot of pressure on myself, and it's like I've got to go bigger and better, and it's like, but I can just be okay with what we've done today.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I don't need to be constantly thinking about the future. I
Yeah.
need to just be in the present.
Exactly. So it is, how can you bring celebration just for the small
Or
stuff?
treat yourself, go out for a coffee with a
Yes.
friend, or
Yeah.
I want to try and prioritize that this year, like working smarter, not harder,
Yeah. Yeah.
because I do try and do everything and
Yeah.
then starting to delegate more. And now I'm really going to have to step into my leadership again because I never thought I'd have a team again. So I had the cafe, obviously the business, we had like up to 15 staff. And
Yeah.
then now we're starting to bring on ambassadors. I don't know if I told you about this.
Yes.
We've got them all across
Yeah.
and we've got one in Shropshire. We're going to have 5 now. And I
Wow.
just need to make sure, I get nervous because I'm like, making sure I'm the best leader.
Yeah.
Even though we're not doing things every day together, it's making sure I'm clear. Because I think sometimes I'm that person that's like, I thought they understood that, but they haven't. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to get everything written out like on a Google Drive, like training manuals, all the things, because it's just
Yes.
important.
Yeah, it is, and this is where I've started to support businesses in the Cheshire and Staffordshire
Yeah.
area now, where businesses are scaling up, and when I've started to look at their organisational
that's
design,
good, yeah.
so doing consultancy work and looking at the people plan. And so many times I'll say, right, where's your people plan? And I'm like, well, it's not me that deals with that, it's that person. Like, but you've got a team of people, so where's your people planning? It's about, well, what the importance of having that, what does that look like in a year for their engagement, the reward and recognition, for their personal development.
I love like when you do a end of year review as well, and
yes,
like, all those things, and that's something I want to do, because someone asked me the other day, like, will you do mentorship, like will you be mentoring me? And I was like, oh, not thought about that. And then
Yeah.
one lady had a really good idea of a badge. So we have like the ambassador badge that we put all on our socials. And I was like, that's a great idea. So they're
Yeah,
coming up with the
brilliant.
ideas now. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of like, right, I need to write all
I
these
love
down.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I always say, I was saying this the other day, that your team are the ones who are sitting with the gold dust.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
are the ones that are at the front line, delivering the vision, delivering the project. They're the ones that are working with the customers. So if you grab
fuel their
what they're
ideas.
saying,
Because this is what's the beauty of it with the ambassadors. They all come from different roles. So like Nina was a forest school ambassador, and like she works with loads of charities. But then we've got this new lady, Emily, who's all about she's a social media manager, content strategist. So they're all so different. Like Claudia is like works in football and like yoga and Pilates.
Yeah.
And they all come from such different areas, but it's great because it brings in these fresh ideas. And what I've realized is we need to come together and like maybe have a quarterly meet where we all get ideas together and flow. And I don't want there to be any, because that's also, you don't want any rivalry or anything going on,
Oh, it's important. It's important for the
Flow.
team to come together, isn't it? And you can understand what's working well, what's not working so well. And it's then, making sure you create an agenda and making sure that you're thinking about, well, what do you want to achieve on the back of that session? So I always say, if you're having a meeting, really structure it.
That's the power of ChatGPT now. It can be like, help me with an agenda.
Now, AI in leadership is so important. We've got to lean into it.
I need it to because I'm quite messy. I'm great at running events and get me out in person, speaking at an event. I'm great. But the administration side, I'll just be like, oh, people know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And then so I'm really trying to refine my processes now, like pre-event emails, post-event emails, check in with speakers.
Yes.
Luckily my VA is helping. But, it's like if you have a disorganized mind, then get a VA or someone that can help you.
Yes, definitely.
It's done wonders for me.
Oh, that's good.
Because I was a bit messy before.
Yeah.
And I feel like I can breathe again. I'm like today, I've not actually looked at my phone today much. And I know that which is hard for me.
Yeah.
Because I've been so busy, focused. She's been doing my emails, which is great. Like I can just trust. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, that's brilliant. And we talked about the delegation, and it is knowing who the right people are to delegate that work to, and empowering them. And then it's just about how then you check in on progress. Productivity is a big issue in leadership.
It's tricky, isn't it, to know, and how do you scale it as well?
Yeah.
It's like, especially if you have a lot of moving parts in your business. It's like, okay, so have they... I mean, actually, she gave me some... it was great, actually, because I've given her these key roles, just touching on Kate, of my VA. I'd said, I really want to grow on Facebook. I'm awful at Facebook. I just don't post on there that much. And I've been locked out of my Facebook page, which I had 12,000 followers at, so I've had to start brand new.
Oh, no.
But you know what? It's fine. I was like, not going to let this bother me. Failure.
Yeah, right.
Okay,
yeah.
And basically, she's taken it from, I think I only had like 2,000 views a week or something, to like 55,000. And so she gave me that feedback back, and I was like, Kate, you're doing amazing. Like, wow, that's incredible.
Yes, that was good.
So just because she's been helping me post on groups, being more engaging, and I was like, that's fantastic. So that's easy to look at productivity, but how do you do it across, say, I know a friend, my friend Sarah, who owns Centre of Excellence, all her team work from home.
Yeah.
So how do you keep on track of that?
Yes.
It's another ball game, isn't it? Really?
It is. And I think a lot of leaders procrastinate because they take on so much and they feel overwhelmed.
This is like me.
And you're like, where do I start? Because everything's important, but what's
so
the priority?
much.
Yeah. And it's about actually, having that strategic plan, or even if it should look like, I don't want to get too technical. If you're a leader listening to this and you're feeling overwhelmed, pick your top 3.
Yeah, write them down.
Key initiatives. Just go for your top 3, whatever they are. And then think about, what are the 5 things I need to do today to move them forward. And then we look at the people. So who do I need to reach out to, and who am I waiting for?
And then you can ask for help as well, can't you? Like for the other things.
Yeah. And that helps you to stay really focused for the day.
A good idea.
Because so many leaders get overwhelmed. There's so many demands on them nowadays. having to do more in less time.
Yeah, because of probably AI and things, they think, oh, you can just do a bit of everything. And
Yes, yeah,
hard.
yeah, it is. And AI can only help you so far. And it is important to lean into, I mean, AI, the templates now, Canva.
Yeah.
Canva's
Oh,
fantastic
brilliant.
for
And
doing
like
your
CapCut
presentations.
for videos and things
Yes,
like that.
all of that.
Like I think, that was another thing. I like did all these graphics in just a couple of minutes. It was like
Yeah.
amazing on just Canva. I was like, wow.
Yeah, and there's still a lot of leaders that don't use
Yeah,
it.
this is the problem. I think,
Yeah.
and I was a bit like that. I'm like, I can't do Canva. And then I always like outsourced, and I was like, actually, I just need to get my head together and just try it.
Yes.
And you got to be open just to trying new things. Like if you say, I don't do LinkedIn, just try it because it might help bring a great person on board your team.
100%. Yeah, I love that. I love that. But it's, there's so many tools out there nowadays and there's still a lot of, what's the word I'm after? Resistance to this. But really, for your role in leadership in today's world, you have to embrace this.
You do. You've got to embrace it. Like there is resistance, but it can help you win and be on the top form.
Yeah.
And I was going to ask, so what are the biggest misconceptions leaders have about themselves or their roles, do you think?
I think they have to think that need to have all the answers. I think they need to think that they have to do everything. And I think they don't have to be seen as not struggling.
Yeah, like that kind of masculine energy of, and this hustle mentality of go, like without the pause.
Yeah, I think vulnerability in leadership is everything. If you can be vulnerable and feel safe feeling vulnerable, then that really does influence people around you and it helps you in your personal development. Now, people might be listening to this saying it's easy for you to say, Liz, I've got a mortgage to pay and I don't want my manager thinking I can't cope.
Oh, yeah, I see. Like being open about finances or whatever.
So I had Simon, he's one of my guests in my podcast and he was one of my clients because I do coach a lot of men and they find it very difficult to open up.
Yeah, of course. It's so much harder for men.
Massively. But, and obviously us women, we encourage them to open up. We are very good at opening up, but even women in leadership struggle.
Oh, yeah, because they're more, I think that hustle mindset is like so much more driven in women when we get a higher level.
Yeah.
We're like, we've got to be like the men. And like,
we've got the majority of women in leadership have also got a family that they're juggling as well. I know there's a lot of dads out there that are stay-at-home dads, so I want to make sure I'm balanced.
Yeah, but I had that Dr. Giselle Goodwin, and she said that there's an unequal balance on a lot of the workload of women do a lot more because trying to juggle family, also maintain a full-time job.
Yeah.
I know, of course, there's men as well that are doing the same, but there is a lot more pressure.
Yeah, there is. But I think the one gift we've got as women is we can talk.
Yeah.
And we're okay with opening up.
Yeah, it's good.
But unfortunately,
like,
men struggle with that because it's that conditioning from a very early age. Men don't cry.
Yeah.
Men have to take it on the shoulders.
And that's why the risks of like suicide and mental health are
highest in men.
Yeah. It's like for I think it's like a third, three quarters of like all mental health issues and suicides are men. So it's like
absolutely.
crazy.
It's frightening. So I'm a big advocate for men's mental health. And men in leadership, a massive misconception is I can't say I'm struggling. So Simon on his episode was like, I did not want to regret not going for everything in my career. And he was so open. And do you know what? It was the best thing in his career because his manager just sponsored him and was like, we've got you. And we want to, we see the talent that you have.
If you don't tell people, they don't know. Like we're all struggling in our own ways.
Yeah.
And I think, and if you are a leader as a woman as well, and you see, open up to your team a bit more, like with the men in the team, maybe try and get them like, how are you? How are you really doing? How's things at home? Actually check in with them on a regular, like maybe have that 5-minute coffee chat or something.
Yeah.
Makes a world of difference.
Absolutely. And I think if you can show your vulnerability, it does help to open up more of a conversation with people in your team.
It does.
Because they'll think, well, if they can open up, I can relate to that.
I think that's so true. I think I found that as well as in a leading role. So, practical tools then, and then I wanted to hear about your podcast as well. But what's one practical strategy someone can try, perhaps even like now, to improve their confidence or decision making? What do you think?
So to improve your confidence, I think just start small morning routine.
Okay.
Even if you can stop pressing snooze in the morning, you
Or get
are
up earlier, like 20 minutes
get
earlier.
get up a bit earlier, and just that feeling of accomplishment
Yeah.
that you've actually done something you said you were going to do. But please start small. Massive transformations happen over a period of
Yeah,
time.
exactly.
So I can't, in all honesty, say, do this one thing, it's going to change your life. It's small changes.
It's like me going, I'll run that 5K every day. You two just asked me, before, how's that going? I was like, no, not very good. Because it's like I give myself these big ambitions, but then I'm like, actually, I live a really busy life.
I will have to share my productivity mastery module with you.
Yeah.
So in the program, we say, right, what's your big goal? And then there's a series of 10 questions I ask you, like, have you got the bandwidth to do this?
Yeah,
have
yeah.
you got the
I
support? Have you
don't
got the
have it.
time? And we look at the likelihood of you actually achieving that.
Because I get these big goals. I'm like, I'll do this.
I'll have to
And
send
I like
it you.
launching the podcast, which I have done, which has been great. But I also have to remember I've got 4 little kids.
Yes.
And a busy business. And so, but then you can go through phases of like big growth, and then I take some time off, like over half term.
It's peaks and troughs, isn't
There
it?
is.
Yeah.
It's like life goes a bit like that. So you can be a bit busy, but
Yeah.
it's hard when you have other fitness goals and life goals and family goals. Because I always say to people, goals are so key. Like I've just bought one of those big A calendars, the massive ones.
Oh, yes.
Do you ever follow that Jesse Itzler? You would love him. So his wife is the lady at Open Spanx, Sarah Blakely.
Yes.
And they're both billionaires. And he basically, all he talks about is goal setting. And he says every year, he talks about this Japanese term. I can't remember the name of it. I'll put it in the show notes, but it's like where you have one big life goal every single year to try and attain. But then he goes through this process of putting small steps in every day to get you to achieve that goal. So it could be something like climb a mountain, or it could be something very business focused. But he said, even do a goal for your family, and make sure you're always planning a quarterly adventure for yourself and your family. That's something you're really going to cherish, and try and map out your whole year.
Yeah.
So you're always working. And I think he did one. This was a big one last year, but it's really interesting. You should follow him. You'd like him.
Yeah, I will, because I love that, and it is about having that plan.
Yeah.
But I want people to start small and just plan how they can just have a better morning routine. Or, for example, building your confidence in a meeting. A lot of us struggle to voice our opinions and or our thoughts in a meeting. So just start small, and maybe tell your manager that you're struggling to speak up in a meeting, and see if they'll help bring you in. But have a couple of simple phrases like, oh, let me just run past this idea because I love your idea, but I just want to share this with you. Just start bit by bit opening up. So there are a couple of things you can do.
Questions. I think that, like, I heard a quote the other day, like, the more you ask questions and like connect with people, and just people don't know what you're struggling with. So like, say, hey Liz, how did you do that? Like, how did you get to this point? Or ask your manager, like, I'd really love to know how you got to this position, or open up about the situation you're in at the moment, and how do you think I could change this? Because we're innately drawn to help people, like deep within. I know there's some idiots out there that can be a bit low energy, but most of us are quite like happy to help, right? So just ask questions, and if you see someone that really respect, like I always jump on our speakers, like, come on, tell me the secret. How did you do this? How did you do that? And that's what I love about my business, because I get to learn from people, which is, we all want to be learning and growing.
You certainly have. So go to that trusted person, open up and just say, can you help me with this?
Help me.
And they'll love it, because you're paying them the biggest compliment you could ever pay them. So they are my decision making. You've asked about that one.
Decision making.
So it depends on the amount of time that you have. So if it's if you've just in a very short space of time and you have got to make that decision, you just got to gather the information, what's relevant to that particular situation. So
do you do a quick pros and cons list or not?
Yeah,
or
you do, like, what are the risks? If you whichever way you're going to make that decision, try and take in as much factors as you possibly can before you make that decision, and then keep revisiting it. If it's something that you felt, I've been under pressure to make this decision straight away. There's nothing stopping you then saying, right, I'm going to come back to this in a day and review that and just
like maybe pause method. And sometimes you not think there's a lot of gut in there, like intuitive feeling, because sometimes I just take a pause, take a breath and go like, what is my gut telling me? Like, say it to yourself, like, oh, what about if I was to do this? Like, I don't know, open another site or whatever it is. Do you lean in towards it? Or
do you know what?
Do you feel a resistance?
100%. Intuition is your internal sat nav. And it's built on knowledge, past experiences, and how you feel about a certain situation. And you can never, if you follow your intuition, then it can never be the wrong thing.
This is the thing.
You know? So
we instantly opened another site in lockdown, just before lockdown hit.
Oh, yes.
We didn't know about lockdown and we were just happily going about opening this site in Altrincham. We had the lease, so we were about to sign everything. And my gut was just going crazy. Like, everything was perfect. Like, we'd hired the staff. We were like, the space was beautiful. I was like, something's not right. I was like to Chris, like, I don't want to sign on this. And we waited. So we waited. And then lockdown hit. I remember my dad rang from America. He's like, do not sign that deal. Like, you will be stuck with that lease for like a year.
Isn't that crazy?
And I was like, because I put it off a week, like, obviously that was a very rare chance that lockdown would hit, but you never know.
Yeah.
A business might fold or something might happen. And I was like, thank God we got out of that, because it probably would have sent the business into debt.
Oh, crikey. Isn't that amazing though?
Yeah,
but
so
haven't
like
you
that.
gone against your intuition sometimes and then really been, I had a bad feeling about this, and then you feel frustrated, don't you? Because you haven't listened to what your intuition was telling you.
Or you've listened to someone else and then you'd be like, why did I do that?
Yeah.
I do that sometimes where I say yes to things and then I'm like, I need to sit with it and say no first before just giving all my energy to other people. Because I get asked for a lot of opportunities a lot, like, oh, come and do this here, come and do this. And I'm like, yeah. But now I'm learning in business. I'm like, no, I need to learn to say no.
Protect your time.
Because it's
hard, isn't it?
And I've started to increase my price as well. When I do a little bit of consultancy. I'm not like a coach or anything, but I just help people build community. So if someone wants to build a community, I help them. And this has been interesting because at first I just give my time. I'd go meet them for a coffee. And I was like, this is my time. Like, I could be running an event.
Yeah.
So I've started to charge a lot more now. Because I'm like, it's value.
It is your value, isn't it? Absolutely. And I think it's, people are paying for your experience and knowledge.
And I've been through a lot. When you've been there, you've done that.
Yeah.
And you have as well. You've done such an amazing, and trained with the best.
Yes.
Because San Diego.
Well, I learned that in my first couple of years in business because I wasn't charging enough. And then I was helping get people results, and they were getting incredible results.
And you're like, hey,
and
what
I'm
about
like,
me?
I'm really struggling to pay the bills this month.
It feels hard at first.
Yes.
It's a bit shaky because even I still feel a bit strange doing it. I'm like, oh, like, we had to slightly put up our networking events charge, and I was like, oh, it was from, I don't know if it's £40 to 44 or something, but I was like, well, people still come, but then we give a lot. We give lunch,
you give
we give
an
coffee,
amazing value,
speakers, all the things, and I'm like, but that's, professional headshots,
Yes.
So it's like, there's so much and you just got to value yourself and go for it, don't you?
Yeah. And I think people recognize value for money. And, like I said earlier, when I invest, I don't mind paying a premium when I'm getting, and, going to the right people. Because I've found in life, you get what you pay for. Exactly. So if you're trying to get something that's cheap, then you're really going to get that level of service. So sometimes we'll get a bit of a bargain, but I think you've got to have a lot of respect. And when I've invested, and I've had coaches last year, I think I got 3 coaches throughout the year, and they've all shared their experience and knowledge and made me and my business better.
I think it's in America, everyone has coaches. It's so normal. So we need to actually do this more often. Like, we all should invest with a coach. I've been saying it for ages. I'm like, right, I need a coach to hold me accountable.
It is that accountability.
Yeah. It's just kind of keep me on track.
It really is.
But then I'm like, when am I going to have the time? But it's so important.
Yeah.
And so on the Leading Role podcast, you're exploring a lot of like mindset, aren't you, and leadership. So everyone's got to go check that out. But what's one favourite episode or insight you've shared that really resonates with you? Have you got any that stand out?
I think, So for me, the leading role is getting you to see local leaders that are just round the corner from you, who are living and breathing leadership.
Like I saw the one from Crown Bank Dental, is it?
Yes.
She's
yes.
great. She came to an event the other week.
Yes.
Yeah, she's lovely.
Jan. Yeah. So, I mean, Jan has spoken very openly on one of the episodes. She's a client of mine. She loves coaching because she just sees the benefit of it. And, she left me a message the other day saying, thank goodness I'm having coaching, because she just is learning about herself, learning new skills. It's making a massive impact in her life.
Yeah, you could tell on the podcast. I like that one.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. I mean, she loved the productivity. I've been talking about productivity earlier. For me, I think it's about breaking those barriers and giving people options to say, have you thought about coaching? Rather than therapy, which is the route I went down.
It kind of is a bit of a mix. Obviously, it might, if you're having mental health issues, you should go for a therapist. But
100%.
if you feel like you just want a bit of a life boost,
there is other options. Yeah, there is other options. And sometimes we think, I think coaching is the middle ground between therapy and training.
Yeah.
It's a combination of helping you to get to where you need to be. And I love the leading role, because I think when we see other people that we know out and about who are sharing their vulnerability, and then also how they've overcome it and the success that they're having and how much their life
I think it's
has
nice
changed.
to resonate with people that are more local, because we follow these. It's like that Molly May campaign with the Adidas. It's just gone viral, and it's funny because everyone supports that and they go, it's trending, but it's like, what about your local, bakers down the road, or like start backing your local community, because that's actually putting money back into your into your local area. If you boost these local businesses, that does so much better as well.
100%. I mean, I see you so much in Congleton. I live in Congleton. We're out and about. And, I'd like to think I know quite a lot of people in Congleton, because it's important. It's important for our kids, that community. But I'm really proud of the leading role, because I want it to be my legacy. Series 2 will be happening as we go into 2026. And again, I just want to say, look at these people that you wouldn't even think about, who are living and breathing challenges, but they're still getting up and they're still achieving. And the thing is, it's like everybody's gone crazy about the Beckhams.
Yeah, no. Right. This is what I mean, all these trending topics.
It's like everybody, and somebody asked me the other day, what do I think about the Beckhams? Let me tell you what I think. No family is perfect.
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
They are not perfect. You would not believe the struggles that people have. They're not going to go and tell you. They're not going to go and post it on Instagram or LinkedIn or on Facebook. But people have challenges and struggles. And what the leading role does is say, we have them, and this is how we've overcome them.
Exactly. Everyone has them. Failure is inevitable. We have to just go for it. I love that. Yeah. So true.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to do a little quick fire round to finish. So it's just a fun one. I love it. So, what's your favourite self-care ritual?
It's a new one, actually. So I go to Avea, plug for Congleton, for Lindsay at Avea. So every month I have a massage.
Oh, lovely. Oh, I love Lindsay. Shout out to Lindsay.
Shout out to Lindsay.
And then hot or cold. So if you're going to go in cold plunge or hot sauna.
Hot sauna.
Hot sauna. Yeah, you're the same as me. Matcha or coffee.
Coffee
girl. And then have you got any favourite podcast that you listen to right now?
A couple of them are coaching ones. So Joanna Lott. Yeah. So if you are a coach, I'd highly recommend. And The Courageous Leader.
Okay, I'll check that out.
Yeah.
Amazing, thank you. And then the final question is just kind of what your vision is for going forward now.
So my vision for 2026 is working with more businesses, helping them with their people plan. But I have a group coaching for entry-level leaders. So if you've just been promoted into leadership, every month we meet. And it helps you navigate your new role, those first 90 days. Or you might have been in your role for a couple of years, but never had any formal leadership training. So that it's taken a couple of years really to get group coaching up and running, but we're there. We've done it. So we're going to.
How can people find out about you then?
It's all on my website. You can book a 30-minute chemistry call with me. We'll have a chat. That's where all my clients start. They book a 30-minute chat with me.
And what's your website again? Just tell people.
Liz Finneron.
That's it, Liz
.co.uk.
Finneron.
As simple as that. I'm looking forward to that, continuing that, working with local businesses, helping them organisational design their people plan.
I wish I had you when I had the local cafe. I feel like you need it.
Yeah.
Like hospitality in these industries are really
Yes.
cutthroat. Like
Yeah.
you need that support system. So
And
if
do you know what?
anyone,
I love that about my job. I'm
Yeah.
working with so many different industries.
Really
The steel
lovely.
industry, who knew? I know nothing about
Yeah.
steel, but I've been working with leaders
But they're
in
all this.
steel.
It's all the same though. The
Yeah.
issues that must come up, whatever the industry is,
Yeah.
people just need support at the
Yeah.
end of the day, and it's these high performing roles. And yeah, I'm so grateful for you coming on. And I think that
Thank you.
anyone listening is going to be inspired now to go check out your work and get a coach as well. I feel like we all need
Yes.
it.
Yeah, we do. Thank you.